Okay, the last time in a documentary I did the video on MKULTRA that went on from 99 all the way to 2006 in southern part of Poland in a city known as Zakopane. Today, however, I will do the same thing, but I will do for another location known as Nowy Targ. Nowy Targ, new market if you like in English. Not exactly, not precisely the same thing. In Zakopane, for me, it all started sometimes in 99, beginning of the 99, something like this.
So when it comes to Nowy Targ, we moved to the Nowy Targ within like less than 9 months, I would say. Like after 9 months, we already were in a Nowy Targ. Nowy Targ and Zakopane are in the same proximity. It's about less than an hour drive with a bus. So, and in continuation, also explain why we moved to a Nowy Targ from Zakopane.
The first place was Zakopane. Zakopane is Tatra mountain town. CEOs, owners of major corporations, politicians, Illuminatis if you like, were excited about Zakopane. Zakopane had tremendously a lot to offer. It's right here along the Slovakia, right inside of the Tatra mountains. And if you go that way, you get to Czech Republic. If you go this way, you get to Ukraine. Beautiful streams here, mountains, a lot to do. They loved it, but I did not. In continuation, I will explain why I am accenting this very issue. For me, this place, Zakopane, which is a very beautiful place. Otherwise, now, of course, if you're not subjected to MKULTRA, was not appealing at all. First, I was stoned with whatever they have used to the point I would not even know. I would be completely blank. Like, they would try to get my attention. They would try to obtain my attention. Why they would try to obtain my attention is because Israel, state of the Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu turned the whole ordeal into a genocide for me. He have hidden himself, along with other politicians, behind astronomical financial numbers, and have translated to people, including my family members, a genocide as a form of the human rights. Basically, how this would be about the human rights, and why would it be so? Well, because partially to one side he translated this, it would be for the financial compensation. To other public, he translated this as something necessary to do with me, because I have rejected Mid-Eastern culture, because I have rejected because I would not want to marry into Israeli society, because I would not want to accept the religion, basically become myself a Jew, an Israeli. That was a reason enough for him to do this kind of stuff. Human rights in a situation like this do equal genocide, and that's what Benjamin Netanyahu have hidden himself behind issue of the human rights.
Targ, about 9 months after Zakopane.
Me, I didn't want to see Zakopane anymore. Number one, as I have stated, it was too much whatever they have used on me. Whatever amount of whatever they have used on me, it would leave me blank. They would try to obtain my attention. They would gesture on how I'm going to make money if I'm ever going to report about what went on here and here. How they started the trade between Western Europe, United States, and Eastern Europe, therefore Poland, Slovakia, Czech Republic, and Russia, and so on and so forth. So, for me, this thing was not appealing at all. After they have finally decreased the amount of whatever was used under MKULTRA, they finally got my attention, so I could report about, in the future, perhaps somehow, some way, what went on, even that I was told in Zakopane last time in 2006 when brought there. I'm not going to be able to recall any of this stuff here, but we brought you here anyways, but you're not going to be capable to report. You most likely you will not. You will forget this, you will not, and this and that. Well, no, I did not. The first thing, the biggest problem for me was I did not want to have anything to do with these people. You're talking about hijackings, you're talking about extreme form of violence, abductions. No, hell no. Nobody wants to go this kind of stuff. Everybody wants to go about family. Everybody wants to have employment, normal life, family, wife, kids, and so on. Nobody wants to go from door to door and search for employment. Benjamin Netanyahu, however, he is much more than just a war criminal, if that's not enough. This is a hardcore criminal. The way he did this, the way he saw this is going to be done is by basically using the employment issues. Idea was to, everything, whatever I would do in the US, pretty much would bother, it would disturb, it would not be okay. Whatever I would do, a laugh was inappropriate thing, anything was inappropriate, everything bothered. The idea was to collapse everything in me, to ground zero. This is how it's done in the US, and then basically load a new matrix in a person. So it's basically totally rebuilt person, distort his views into something that would fit his agenda. The money from the beginning was not much. The money, I'm talking about the promises. I'm not talking about actual money, the promises, blah blah. The money for the Zakopane, it was already about €500 million. The money for the whole thing afterwards, it went to billion, then 2 billion, then it went even to 200 billion. If I would be interested in helping out to rebuild Russia, if I would share with the Russian people and stuff like this, blah 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 blah. Then at the end, what do you need money for? You can be a king of the Israel if you want. Forget about the money. This is how Benjamin Netanyahu does his things, and the people, I was unfortunately around, they did not oppose to any of it. It was just, I don't want to go into details. I'm just going to say that many people told me that they do the stuff like this to many people, but nobody ever gets anything. Nobody gets away with anything other than death, basically, is what they do. Since I was not motivated in the city of the Zakopane, city of the Zakopane was, it doesn't really have any river, anything like this, and as European as I am, I love water around me. This is for me like a must, a lake, a river, whatever it is, I gotta see the water, I'm addicted to it. And sooner than not, this is why I have mentioned before, Nowy Targ, this is why we transferred to the Nowy Targ. About a year and a half, 2 years later, we came to the Nowy Targ. So sometimes in 2001, let's go to the Nowy Targ, and I'm going to give you, internet is very, very slow here, but I feel quite fortunate to have at least something. So this is not so bad. I feel good about internet, having at least internet. Here, this is the city, Nowy Targ area, which first I have noticed upon our arrival there. Let's go. I'm gonna point you out a portion of the town. Let's go to the portion of town which I know like my back pocket. I can in fact go and point out almost when what house was created. And I'm going to give out few brutal details for you to understand, if you are watching this stuff, that I mean exactly what I said. It's not only about, I'm going to say, housing, residential housing, when that was built. It's about many other issues too. If one thing Prince Harry did, this is the area I will concentrate on. Let's see this. Let me make sure that I do have the right area. Yes, in fact I do. The area I will concentrate basically is this area here. Yes, this is the area portion of the town. Of course, we did go to the center of the town too. What can I say? Things are pretty much the way they were in 2003, 2004, 5, and 6. Things did not change much, so my account in respect of the city can be very, very detailed. For instance, let's see, that's... I did mention previous video ice cream, and for me it's a very important detail. I know it could be funny, I know that a lot of people would be like, you know, it's just the ice cream and stuff like this, but for me issue is much bigger than just ice cream, really. That's why I'm going to give an account. Okay, it's here, yeah. Tax office, it's actually right here. This is the ice cream shop right here that you see. This is like a park, and this is the ice cream shop, right? Now, this is a private shop. I'm going to tell you this way. It's the same owner. How about this? The same owner that was here in 2005, 2004, man, is still the same. And he does keep a restroom clean. It was like this. I know the restrooms. In previous videos you were able to see documentary, and you were able to see I point out restroom. Like I found a restroom, I said it was the same restroom back then and this and that. Why? Because the staff members, what they did was they would use restrooms, right? Anybody needs a restroom. Now even the kings and queens have to go to the restroom. It doesn't matter who you are, you go to the restroom. And this was one of the restrooms we would go. They had locations where the restroom could be used. This was the location where we would go if we were in this part of the town, to the restroom. They were very careful, very detailed about where they can go and release themselves, including myself. They would not do anything inappropriate, and that leaves me, who was exposed to MKULTRA, left me in a very unpleasant situation. Imagine you cannot even go and release yourself whenever you need and stuff like this. Regarding the ice cream, delicious, I understand ice cream because I did not try one, not even today. The price for the ice cream, I'm not sure, but I think it's 15 zloty, something like this. Well, that's about 40 euros, maybe 3-something, 40 euros. Well, the truth is that anywhere in Europe this is about just normal price, and this place here is like a really, really fancy place. And the ice cream is like very delicious. The thing is that this billionaires, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu presented me as a racist, as a prejudiced, because he needed to present me as such so he could go and be like a crybaby. He would cry and cry to the Eastern European politicians that, you know, so he would get better offer, so he would get better discount on investments and stuff like this. He is as criminal as it gets. Once he would make the money, it would be like, oh, we make a lot of money, and we're gonna, what we're gonna do is State of Israel make a lot of money because of you, with your help, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna count this as your plus and stuff like this. This is all there was. This is who this individual is. And so when it comes to ice cream, okay, in a hot summer day, imagine a hot summer day, and imagine a crowd of people, they eat this ice cream. They would not even buy you an ice cream. Now we're talking about the niece of Benjamin Netanyahu, who Prince Harry banged regularly. This was his mistress, on and on for years. And so why you would not do this? Why would not even buy you an ice cream? Well, because it's a human rights issue, so you're going to make money with the human rights issues. I'm just trying to give you an idea about what type of people these people are. And it's because it's about the human rights issues, they're going to make a complaint, they're going to see us, how you eat ice cream, how we treat you, and then they're going to say it was not an ordeal and stuff like this. Well, you know, the truth is, if they would she really would care about me, she would take the ice cream home and serve me one, whatever. They could do that easily. But, of course, like I said earlier, these people have done lots of evil to lots of people, and nobody ever got anything in return from them other than death, basically. This is what I was told. Not even the food. You know, the staffers, assistants that would come with these politicians, CEOs, and so on these meetings that took place between Western Europe, United States of America, and Eastern Europe, entire Eastern Europe. You're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars investments into Eastern Europe, if not trillions of dollars. They would not even treat these staffers. I mean, they wanted to have me, so whatever reason, so I would make them laugh, so they could make themselves whatever, but they would not even for the staffers. It was not only about me. The staff people would only get like a allowance, daily allowance and stuff like this, if they came along, or if these CEOs, these politicians felt like paying them, giving them for a lunch, wherever, treat them at the restaurant where they ate. That would be like a fortune for them. If they would not, the only thing they would get would be leftovers. Basically, oftentimes they would call them up. These people would rush to restaurants. They would go, they would eat inside of those restaurants. They would have me along. I would not even get to eat inside of the restaurant. I would sit next to them like a dummy. Then what they would do is whatever would be left, leftovers of the leftovers, basically, called leftovers, they would take them to hotel, to house, wherever we were staying, and afterwards they would serve me with that junk of the junk. This is the reality. So that much about this issue. This is why I have mentioned the ice cream. It's not about the ice cream. When it comes to ice cream, and this Benjamin Netanyahu's niece is as criminal as it gets. It's about the personality of these people. It's about the crooked people that I don't think anybody is as crooked as these people. It's just unbelievable how crooked they are. That's what this is all about. So now, if we go back to this town, okay, obviously this was in already before. I can give you the detailed account about everything. What was this bridge was here also in 2005, whatever. We would go back. They would actually use like to release themselves. This here, I'm gonna tell you, this was already here. This is an old abandoned place. They would go, they would release themselves also here in this area. There might be something about business and stuff like this, but I'm not gonna take chance, not gonna go into this here. It doesn't pay me off. I'm just gonna concentrate on the stuff where nobody would dare to say about if they would not be 100% sure. I'm going to concentrate on the center of the town instead, and especially I'm going to concentrate in this area right here that you see. Maybe this is something that's the only thing that Prince Harry did right. He got criticized. He got criticized that he's not doing his job, that he's not doing his stuff by senior people. We would be like in two categories: 19, 20, 21, 22, 23-year-old kids that would associate themselves also with 30 years olds and stuff like this, people like myself, and then you would have that other category, basically their parents, like Donald Trump, Bush, same age, Putin. These people would be class for themselves. They would mostly go about the business, CEOs and so on. It's what they would negotiate. So we were kind of a separated, okay? So not necessary would we always be in the same town, meaning with their parents and so on. We could be in another town, and in another town, their parents would have whatever they would have go on. Probably a good detail, interesting detail. Okay, so what I'm going to concentrate on this place here, I did mention that maybe Prince Harry did at least this thing right here. He kind of did, because, well, he did brought me to this place here when this place was completely uninhabited. Let me go to Google Earth where you can see actually like housing map. This here is a dam, beautiful dam. Maybe even in '99 already we were here with local Novo Mesto police. They would go for a swim, and well, there is a sign that there is no swimming, you cannot approach to the dam. The last time I was told that if you go there that you drown. No, it's not true. The folks from my village, from my own village, police officer, my neighbor, he was actually diving right here along this dam. They were jumping inside. Well, when in Zakopane, you know, a local, the only thing I met there was a local, an individual who also has a brother. Now this brother lives in Great Britain, I understand, and the other one, I don't know, in Denmark or something like this. This guy was used as a staff, MKULTRA staff, when I was in this city, Nowy Targ. One of the people. And the only thing he did was like, oh no, don't approach there, this is very dangerous, you're gonna drown, sheep drown here, I don't know, people drown here, I don't know. It probably is the true, it's all the true, but right now, as of this very moment, I'm gonna submit yet another fact about that I was there. First, when we got there to this place, I remember cops, I remember my friend Simon, I remember my neighbor, all police officers. They would jump into this river from the dam, swim there around. And good swimmers, pretty good swimmers over there in Slovenia. And so the thing is that yes, that is very dangerous. There is a dangerous area on that dam that one should not approach. Really not if he's not familiarized with. But once you get familiarized with, there is a way around. I'm not really sure what exactly is going on in that location. The local, the last time, told me that, well, it can pull you underneath and you crash with the head against the wall, dam wall, and then you drown and this and that. It might be the case, but as far as I remember, back then they complained something about the current that does not allow you to swim away or something like this. I'm not really sure what the deal is. I remember that there is a way, there's a hole in it. You can get used to it, and you can just do all kinds of stuff from that dam. Anyways, so, no. All right, there's a little bit more to it, okay? The individual I have just spoken to, and I'm going to use that yet as another proof of MKULTRA, okay? His brother, the two brothers were present at this dam. I have not seen very much, but I remember the same girlfriend from 2005. You're talking about wife, you're talking about the girlfriend. Number one thing. Number two thing, this guy is famous to offer his girlfriend to wealthy people, he did this already to politicians and stuff like this. Then what he would do is he video record them with a girlfriend. Then what he does, he extorts. He's known, he's from Nowy Targ. People know this dude. He's quite famous about doing that kind of stuff. Now, how the hell would I know this kind of stuff? And believe me, I know so much about the Nowy Targ that even Mr. Donald Trump would not want me to talk about. And I'm not going to talk about because of Donald Trump, I'm just gonna spirit state of Poland. That's all there is to it. That's ends. Okay? You want to talk about MKULTRA? There was no MKULTRA. I can go really, really deep about it. This is a very beautiful place because there is no river. There is nothing over there in Zakopane. It doesn't matter how beautiful it is. It doesn't matter if it's got so beautiful mountains and streams and so on. When you're under MKULTRA, you don't see anything. So to me, that thing was totally, I was not interested. I was not into it. The whole thing started to fail. And so they had to do something about it. You know, I'm not going to forget Netanyahu's niece. You know, this Nowy Targ because of you. Yeah, to me it was like totally non-interesting. There was one street, we would go back and forth, wherever these people would take me for a walk. Other than that, there was nothing about that place, you know, when you're subjected to MKULTRA, really worthy for me to remember. This place, when you're about to see this, was a completely different thing. It was a scenery, very beautiful, and so on. So if Prince Harry did something right, this hill here, I'm sure you can hear, for the pleasure of it, in the background, this place here was completely uninhabited, almost, I'm going to say. I'm going to point you out houses, which they were, already people were there, very few compared to what you see here. I'm going to actually point you out even the first house, Villa Dunajec, where we stayed upon our arrival to Nowy Targ. This was the #1 house. Later on, this house was turned into businesses, but when we were staying there, this house was not, they did not have any businesses and stuff like this. And I'm going to tell you exactly when and so on. So, you know, I have this little town in my back pocket. Please understand, I did spend here about a day and a half, I would say. That's all I did. No, so much information I could not gather, and there is no proof that I asked anybody about absolutely anything. In fact, all you see here about this town and about the center of the town, I have not spoken in this town with anybody about absolutely anything in respect to the stuff I have about, I'm about to say to you. And before I go on with it, Prince Harry, yeah, he probably did a good job about this. Although I got to say immediately, he did not work enough hard, you know, he far from tried enough hard to help me out, really help me out with the situation. In fact, in Slovenia, Polish people that also participated and have watched this conduct, Netanyahu's conduct, niece, and myself, they were not pleased at all with what they have seen, stating me repeatedly, what we see you is as completely normal. We don't see absolutely anything wrong with you. So they didn't say there's something wrong with Netanyahu's niece or anything like this, but it was like, so we don't know why is it that they're doing this stuff to you. Why is it that she is seeing you like this, and so on and so forth. The same thing happened here. The locals here in the city, however, were quite pissed off about the whole thing. And they would gesture that it was like some kind of monopoly game, like the one who's going to help you is going to be Buckingham Palace, is going to come from London, it's going to be, they're going to send you their own people, they're going to help you out with these proofs and so on and so forth. Locals here were like, if they're not going to help you, and what they have seen with the Prince Harry, they did not even like it very much. His conduct was very inappropriate. He changed his views, he changed his story changed. It was like Netanyahu. First it was like this, then it was different, then it was like, let's just forget about the whole thing. If they would not help you out, we will help you out. Totally different story when it comes to European people and when dealing with Netanyahu and Buckingham Palace. Those are two different issues I don't want to associate. So, yeah, if he did something right, he did this here right, because he took me to this hill, pointed me out what was there and what turned out to become this place here over the years, over our stay, and what this thing have had basically developed. Not that he would work hard, but he got my attention, you know, when he stopped me and he challenged me, what do you see? Okay, and the next time, what do you see now? Do you remember what you have seen the last time? And then again the next time, what do you see now? And so on and so forth. And before that, what this is going to be like, somebody tell him, and so on. So in that sense, yes, he did a good job. But in another sense, you know, I cannot miss the stuff I have talked about.
You know, I have forgotten this stuff, but it came back to me. For the first time, in any place, or ever, not even in Slovenia, forget about Russia or something like this, they were motivated in totally other issues. But in Poland, for the first time, it was Polish people that stated that what went on, they never ever would have allowed to go on if it was not for a trade. If it was not for a lot of money, for investments, they would not allow to go on against me in Poland. They have, nobody said anything like this for me, not in Slovenia, not in Belarus, not in Russia. For exactly the opposite, the Russians insisted to Poles to get me destroyed at all costs. Belarus people, Belarus delegation was disgusted with views from Moscow on me, how they see me. I'm not gonna say names. They would not come out straight and exercise their opinion. Most of these things, I believe, were recorded. Anything you would say, it would come right on the table of the politician that is in charge of you. People were afraid to say anything. Okay, but on a private, they did tell me these things and did gesture me to. A lot of people gesture me to just side with the Poland, Polish, see it different way. If I were you, now I'm talking about the Russian people, Belarus people. If I were you, I would just, you know, this is what I'm trying to say.
Nowy Targ, Polska.
And I am sorry if I made a mistakes. I did make a mistakes. You got to understand, I am involved in all kinds of issues right now, and I just did the video on Zakopane, and now I want to do this one. It takes a little time for me to adjust to what I went through. It probably would best be that I did video recorded with audio, the whole thing, right there and right then. But better was that a lot of other stuff in addition to what was in town needs to be said, so not just like this. So impossible situation. In 3 days I got about maybe 2 hours and a half of the sleep, no more than that. So extreme circumstances, not even a battery for the androids I could charge at any place at all. Just continue with MKULTRA. Another MKULTRA proof. During my stay, I came sometimes in probably, maybe, I'm not even sure, maybe 12 o'clock, something like this is when I reached Nowy Targ the first time. That's when I came from Slovakia. And then I stay for the night, sometimes in the morning hours, maybe sometimes in like 2 o'clock, actually about maybe 1 o'clock in the morning, I would go up on a hill that you're about to see, sleep there for about maybe 2.5 hours, maybe something like this. I could not sleep much because it was really, really cold night. right out on the grass without absolutely anything, and had to go out there. I think it was a Sunday. Had to go out there, video record as fast as possible, like a little few private properties. Yeah, I would not want to feel. I wouldn't feel comfortable doing stuff like this in the daytime when people would be around. Especially, I would not give any comments and stuff like that. I was just really going fast. Video record, then I got out of it. Okay, let's go back immediately to more proofs about MKUltra. You know the park you're seeing right there, the park you're seeing, first thing I gotta tell you, I've not seen a single police officer, okay, and like I said, I got there at about maybe 12 o'clock, stayed for the day, for entire day, right here in this dam, at this dam, swim back and forth, back myself, it was so wonderful. Then, the next day, I would stay a little bit around, then I would just proceed to the city, from the city to the Zakopane, where I would do job. I returned to this location, did not stay much, but did report myself then to the police. But what I'm trying to say is, I have not seen a single police officer in this very park. I have not seen one. I was allowed to even sleep in this park. When I mention sleep, let's put it this way, let's analyze the word sleep. For this trip, these were the orders from Donald Trump personally. If he will sleep anywhere around here, and it's what I was told in front of the staff from Nowy Targ, it is MKUltra. Take him away, subject him to MKUltra, make problems to him, and this and that. There's going to be all kinds of problems if you're going to fall asleep during this trip. So God forbid you would fall asleep. I did fall asleep at the top of the hill that you're about to see, but it did costed me a charger with the 2 cables for the smartphone, for the Android. So that was the cost. They were there, and they made sure that I will realize that they were there. Proof about MKUltra is that every day, and you can go and you can ask locals, every day in this park there is a police patrol. And I'm going to explain to you why the police patrol. The police patrol because there was Roma people who would go and sleep in this park. Once, you want to call them Illuminatis, showed up in the city, police started to patrol and enforce rules in this park. So the park would be like absolutely without any vagrants, and also Roma people. They would keep this park like strictly clean. Nobody, that doesn't matter who it is allowed to sleep in this park. For me, however, it was available to sleep in this park, but if I would sleep in this park, this would be like really a mega mistake. I didn't have a guts. I did search for another location, but it did cost me a charger. So, you think I would know about the Roma, how the police is patrolling this park, when police did not even patrol the park that day? If I was not in a city of the Nowy Targ before, I don't think so. I would know all these things. Oh, the view is just really is a spectacular view. You can't miss this view. You can't mistake one for any other place in the world. And I did not either, especially because politicians would repeatedly ask me what I see. It was such a beautiful scenery that you could not mistaken what you have just seen for any other place in your lifetime, at least not in my lifetime. Also, American politicians have challenged me from the beginning. I was not even sure where exactly I was, because they challenged with, well, this could be
in Rocky Mountains in USA, this could be already in USA, Canada, and stuff like this. What do you see? Isn't this beautiful? This and that, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, Nowy Targ. All right, this is why I came to the Nowy Targ. Oh, the view is just really is a spectacular view. You can't miss this view. You can't mistake one for any other place in the world. And I did not either, especially because politicians would repeatedly ask me what I see. It was such a beautiful scenery that you could not mistaken what you have just seen for any other place in your lifetime, at least not in my lifetime. Also, American politicians have challenged me from the beginning. I was not even sure where exactly I was, because they challenged with, well, this could be in Rocky Mountains in USA, this could be already in USA, Canada, and stuff like this. What do you see? Isn't this beautiful? This and that, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, Nowy Targ. All right, this is why I came to the Nowy Targ. Here we are. This is the area, residential area. This house, yes, we were in here. Hopefully Google Maps works. Gonna have to go back and record some more. In this house, along other few residences, and this, what you see right there, this was the main residence for us. It's known as Villa nad Dunajcem. Dunajec is a river that you have just seen, and this is a villa above this river. There you have it right there. This villa, these are the houses we were in. This villa is renovated. They renovated one, I think, sometimes in about, I estimate sometimes in 2003, something like this. And I think full of students now. That's what's left. A lot of students in there. I have also seen some foreign tags on the vehicles parked outside of this villa. But this was the main residence for us. This was the #1 place in Nowy Targ. This was the first #1 place where we stayed in Nowy Targ. We started to visit Nowy Targ from the city of Zakopane. Okay, so there you have it, Illuminatis. See, memory not so bad. Again, I have filmed this in a very, very early morning hours because I didn't want to disrupt people. House that you see also was one of the houses that was used, one of the first houses where we would stay in a Nowy Targ. All this is in this same area. This house, not a typical Polish architecture for this place. Please keep in mind that when it comes to Polish architecture, especially Kaczynski was very, very precise about it. I admit Kaczynski's had a few very, very good points when it comes to doing certain things, but he did some catastrophic errors. Okay, for the Zakopane, excuse me, you could see certain style of architecture from the past that is being remanufactured, manufactured right now in the present. Basically, they copy architecture from the past into the present. You could not possibly even know what is old and what is new because they copy old style. This is what new housing looks like, and it's the same thing for this place here. However, this is a different architecture. That's like a Tatra mountain architecture. This one is a bit out of Tatra mountain, and it looks like this. Then there is another third type of architecture. I did not film that yet. I might. This is, let's say, for this place here and also other locations too in Poland. But so what they do is they make replicas of old housing if it's original Polish housing. Okay, so let's go from this house
we're gonna go back to the issue of why this villa was remodeled in 2003 into what it looked like almost brand new again, just like you have seen it. Here is exactly why. What you see is a university on which, in Nowy Targ, on which Mr. Kaczynski is very proud, because this university does have a lot to thank him personally, and I'm going to explain to you how. On what you see on the left side is what is a new part of the university. On the right side, however, where we will get in a little bit, that is where the old university was built. The old university, what they have done with the old university was they have remodeled one and they have enlarged one from the back. But what you see right here is this is what was built from ground zero, from nothing. So they first started in with a remodeling of the old part of the university. You're about to see in continuation in a little bit, you're going to see even they have built like an elevator over there. I know these things. And then what they would do is they would build exactly what you see here. So they made like a really known, well-known university in the city of Nowy Targ, which attracted now a lot of students. Now we go back to year 2003 and a little bit. Signs all of a sudden popped up sometimes in 2003, I estimate, something like this. I was like, what are these signs here? What is this? What is this? For rent, for rent, for rent. A lot of houses, all of a sudden they would display for rent signs. Well, the housing exploded sometimes in 2003 in this area, in the city of the Zakopane. A lot of houses would have those signs. Okay, so this is the old university that you see. This is what Kaczynski first did, was he had this university remodeled, well, nicely done, remodeled, and in the back, as you're about to see, he enlarged one. I was not inside of the university. On my own, I have somehow jumped. It's not exactly. It's like a closure, road closure. I have jumped and quickly I did from the back. I have filmed also. So this is the old university from Zakopane. Well, in a little bit, I'm going to demonstrate you what it looks like. And again, the new one was built in exactly the same style. You see that? In the same style as the old one was. Saying how I was not subjected to MKULTRA, how I was not in Poland between 1999 and 2006 now is going to rate you as a lunatic and is going to place you in a loony bin. You get this? None of the stuff you see here, the details, the smallest details, where would I get all this stuff from, how, what, how, where, when, how. University that you see right there, the rear was added to it, to the old university. The model of the older university was sometimes in 2001. The elevator that you see sometimes was added in 2005. Okay, is that good? Is that good or what? Yeah, that was added sometimes in continuation, probably, I don't know, maybe 2003, something like this. I know I only remember the last thing that was added to it was the elevator. Bye-bye. That's all there is. And I think that's pretty damn good enough. What you see here is a tea house. This is a tea house. One of the first houses when the new construction took place was this one here. Why was this thing here? Well, American crybabies complain about how there is no place they can go and see it, like like a McDonald's type. And a little bit, I'm going to demonstrate you like a little factory, like a little cake factory that came out that they would produce bread and stuff like this. Bakery, actually bakery, okay. A few houses where we were also in, just a note to the Illuminatis if somebody wants to say anything, somebody wants to doubt me or something. Still going down the road, there you go, another house we were in. What you see here, a local bakery, I understand, probably, I would say, the latest 2003, most likely I would say. 2002 is what I would give this to. There you have it. What you see here, school hospital. It's what I think it is. 2003, I would say. Maybe even 2002. About the same time.